All right, this question says the scatter plot shows the relationship between the two variables x and y. Which of the following equations is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown? So I just drew a line of best fit, roughly something like that. And look, we can see it has a negative slope. So how many kids look at the answer choices and immediately choose A, right? Because look, A has negative number right up front, right where we're expecting it, because we know the formula for a line is y equals mx plus b. We know m is the slope. We know that number needs to be negative. So kids look at this and just choose A and move on, right? But the SAT is tricky. They are tricky, tricky, tricky in unexpected ways. And look at this. They were doing something that most people weren't paying attention to, and they reordered it, right? These are not written in the format y equals mx plus b. I mean, it sort of is, but they wrote it in y equals b plus mx, which is not what we're used to seeing, right? And so there's a reason why me and all the math teachers, right, try and drill it into everybody's heads, right? Always write your linear equations into y equals mx plus b format, because when you do, then it is much easier to, oh, that's actually going to be a -7. It's much easier to see what you've got and what you need, right? So y equals 7x plus 30, and then y equals -7x plus 30. Okay, now we can look at it and say, hey, we need a negative slope, a negative m, right? So these two don't work because they don't have a negative slope. Now we can look at the second point here and look at our b, and looking at the graph, it crosses what, around 30, something like that, something up there. So our choices are 7 or 30. We know it doesn't cross at 7, it crosses closer to 30. So choice D is the right answer here. So what's the takeaway? One, the SAT is tricky. It's tricky in unexpected ways. So never believe anything they say. They're trying to mug you in a back alley. So always pay attention to everything on it. So you know you're looking for a negative slope, but say, okay, don't just jump at that -7. Be like, wait a minute, did they write it in mx plus b? So double check. Do not take anything they say at face value here. So D is the right answer.